So, Eric, John, welcome to Bluesfest. Not your first time in Australia, but first time at Bluesfest. It is a festival that you said that you've heard of before, but how's it feel to be playing here on the main stage?
It feels incredibly special to be here. It's a festival that has a lot of notoriety and carries a lot of weight, and just being here, being with that much talent, and just hearing the music coming out of every corner of the corridors in the green room, it's intimidating, it's special, it's super electric, it's the real deal.
Beautiful. And who are you looking forward to seeing? You know, when I talk to people here, everyone is excited to see you. So on the flip side, who are you excited to see?
People have heard of us before? That's outrageous. We were so excited to see Elvis Costello, and then we found out we're playing at the exact same time that Elvis Costello is.
Jumped out the window cause he couldn't sit still. Julie was waiting with the safety net. He said, don't bury me cause I'm not dead yet. Why don't you tell me about the mystery dance?
But he was kind of he was our number one, but man.
Yeah, Dan Sultan.
Dan Sultan. Eric Trucks.
As long as we help one another. Love one another. Oh, one day we're gonna have to return right back into the sky.
It's a stacked lineup. I feel like we're getting the cheat code just being able to hang out backstage and catch up with friends, and you'll hear like harmonies through the wall. Like, oh my gosh, I know that song.
My daughter was excited to see Mummies backstage.
Oh yeah.
That was very cool.
Who were those mummies?
Mummies.
Oh cool.
How old's your daughter?
12.
Goes to show that the festival really is for all ages. And, you know, but going back to Elvis Costello, I mean, Bluesfest is known for its collaborations. Maybe somehow we could make a little something happen? Any chance?
Ooh.
Please, 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 please. I mean, I'm pretty intimately familiar with his catalog. I don't know how much of our catalog Elvis knows, but Elvis, if you're watching this after the fact.
So, you know, when you got the call up to play at Bluesfest, you know, I'm surprised to hear that, you know, all the way over from the States, that this was on your list of festivals to come to. So can you tell me a little bit about the reputation that precedes it overseas?
Yeah, I mean, I think it carries a lot of weight. It's one of those names. It's a poster that you've seen kind of in hallowed halls, whether you recognize it immediately or not. It's just like the name recognition of the festival is international, and there's not a whole lot of festivals that can do that. You know, it's like a Leeds or a Lollapalooza kind of moment. You know, it's just one of those names that carries a lot of weight.
Everybody wants to be around Jack Johnson, too. He's so cool.
He is cool. He's the coolest.
Very cool. If you could pick, you know, any artist in the world that you could collaborate with, who would that be?
Elvis Costello?
I think it would be Elvis Costello right now.
I think.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah. We actually did collaborate briefly with Jack Johnson at the Mad Cool Fest in Madrid, like probably 6 years ago or so at this point. And that was one of those situations too. He found his way back to our green room, or we found our way to his. I don't really exactly remember the details of that. But very, very quickly, like right after introductions, like, hi, I'm him, cool, we're us. Hey, do you guys want to come up and join me on stage tonight? I'm thinking about doing some Beatles, you know? We're like, oh my gosh, what a dream. And we did Rocky Raccoon in front of a Madrid audience, in front of a festival crowd, and it's a memory that's burned into our heads. It was so cool, and it came together so quickly, so intimidatingly.
Yeah, as we were sitting there, Josh Homme came in because he really wanted to say hi to Jack Johnson.
Came bursting through the door.
Big fan.
Where's Jack?
Like, this dude's huge.
Yeah, he is huge.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He did.
What's 6'4" in meters? He's like a 2-meter fella. He's a big guy.
He's tall.
Very- And so, back to your catalogue of music, I've heard you describe, well, your music has been described in so many different ways of, kind of tackling more maybe sort of introverted personalities, and then you find yourself on these big stages, or, sometimes you find a bit of a rebirth of music. So how is your musical direction kind of headed at the moment?
Wow.
Ooh.
That might be the best question that we've ever been asked on camera. Thank you for picking up on that. I don't know that that's something that is kind of immediately apparent unless you dig in and kind of listen to some of the lyric and some of the content. Yeah, we're not big flashy personalities. Never really have been. That was a big part of Chris Black changed my life. Chris Black, who we loved, who we cared about, was our friend that came out with us on tour to kind of fill that role of, recognizing the fact that John's pretty introverted. None of us are super microphone happy. None of us are, hey, how the hell are you, rock and roll kind of guys. Chris Black loved being in front of people more than maybe anybody I've ever met in my life. And so he came out not as a musician, not as like a producer, just as a hype man. And just as a personality that was as big as all of ours combined and then some. And
So fun.
so incredibly fun.
Having somebody out on stage who loves being in front of a crowd and feeds off of it and makes us all laugh.
Yeah.
The irony, like Zoe and I, my wife and I are both super introverted. Our daughter Frances is like the most extroverted kid I've ever seen. I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah.
But Frances is a how the hell are you
Francis came
personality.
to party. Yeah.
Yeah, she's here with us tonight. She wants to do a song. So we'll see. We'll see if she can stay up long enough to do a song.
She's been slamming Red Bulls all night.
Is that the collaboration that maybe we're going to see tonight?
It could be. If that's the collaboration, there's no stopping it. There's no organizing it. It is just, she's a ball of energy. Like, she loves coming out there.
That's beautiful. And you can, you see the pride on your face when you say that, which is beautiful. But not only that, you see, I've seen you play before in Brisbane, and the thread of friendship that is within the band when you guys do play, it is really quite incredible. And I can tell that it's not about the spotlight for you, it really is about the music. So I suppose, leading to my next question, what does music mean to you?
Yeah.
Music is everything to me. I mean, so like I grew up in cabins. My parents were dog sled mushers, and we just spent a lot of times together. It was just me and my family. We didn't have neighbors. We had a generator growing up. We didn't have power, and every single ride to town, whether it was 2 hours or 4 hours to go get groceries, we would just listen to music. And it was the thing that, like, it connected our community. That was the thing, like, you'd go into town and, yeah, kids would show me music. Kids at school, and you'd be, like, learning about Offspring or Nirvana or Wu-Tang, whatever it was. Like, it's this really great, like, worldwide community. I mean, I remember sitting in those cabins and listening to Motown and just thinking, like, how crazy is it that I'm sitting in this cabin and there's nothing around me? I mean, it's just darkness and stars, and you're looking up, and music that's being made in Detroit, it has made it out to me. And that always made me feel connected and less isolated. It's like, it's the thing that shows you that other people are going through something that you're going through, or have experienced something that you've experienced.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how you view the world.
Yeah. My dad had a AM radio station in that same town. He was a DJ on, and AM radio, probably like Australia too, it's the throw of it, wattage doesn't really matter when you're just working with that much land. So it was that huge tower in Big Lake that just broadcast out to the valley. And he would bring home records from the station, and they would be 78s by Sister Rosetta Tharpe, or they'd be like Twisted Sister, and just kind of everything in between. So I think when you're from a small town, music is everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like you grew up on, well, both of you grew up on such an eclectic mix of music. Is there kind of an album that you attribute to being the album that got you into, making music yourself?
For me, it's Oasis. I think it's What's the Story, Morning Glory. That record, up until I heard that record, I mean, I was a kid who grew up playing sports because my parents would get us, like, we don't have neighbors, so get these kids to town. They gotta hang with other kids. And I remember playing hockey and skating one day. I thought all the best music was just made already. It happened in the 60s, and that was it. Like, it's all been done. And I heard Oasis, I heard Champagne Supernova come on, and I went, oh my God, you still make people make music today, but it's borrowing from the past. And that was like my gateway into what music truly is, and what that collaboration over generations. It's that looking back and taking something and putting my melody or my lyrics to your melody, or your lyrics to my melody, and this chord progression can come over here and become something new. I love how fluid music is. I mean that was my gateway to songwriting, was seeing that you can rip off the Beatles and make great music.
It's pretty good. I would have said this year's modeled by Elvis Costello, but that's a
That was your gateway in to collab with Elvis.
Honestly, the Farfisa, the tight drums, playing a jazz master up here, pretty cool. But Oasis is huge for sure. It was a generational thing. I think I didn't connect super hard with music from the 80s. I know we've kind of talked about that, just that gated snare sound and that level of production was like, that was my mom's music, that was our babysitter's music, it never really was mine, but then that stuff that came out in the 90s, obviously Nirvana was huge, but Oasis seemed like, I know those chords, I know a G, a C, and a D, and an E minor. I think I can wrap my head around that.
What was the last one?
I don't know. Minor.
Minor.
But when you think about, the excitement that you have talking about the music that's impacted you, and there are going to be people in the audience tonight that are going to be waiting to hear certain songs from you, when you sort of stop to reflect on that, how does that land?
Whoa.
If you stop and reflect on it, what if you mess up, dude? It's touching. It's huge, and to think that we can get on a flight that's 15 hours long and land here, and the connections as same as playing a show in your hometown. That's a beautiful thing, and that's the power of you're never going back to the radio station analogy. So that's a heck of a throw. That's broadcasting worldwide, and that feels unbelievably cool and special, and it's a sacred thing.
My favorite thing in the world was, so we had a song that was like, did really well, and it was like a big song, and it was referencing music I had grown up with, the Marvelettes, a song called Mr. Postman. And I had no idea that we would write a song that would kind of go as far as it did. But I remember the first time I started seeing people posting videos of their kids in car seats dancing to that song, To Feel It Still. And it just took me straight back to being a little kid hearing Oasis for the first time, and Nirvana for the first time, and Wu-Tang for the first time, and hip-hop for the first time. And that it's my favorite thing. It's like watching little kids discover music. I feel so lucky to have been a part of anything like that.
Absolutely, and now your daughter is one of those kids discovering music.
She's one of those
She
kids.
knows all the words.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to have a chat tonight. I'm so excited to see you on stage. It's going to be amazing.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
thank you so much. What was Frances singing? We Will Rock You?
We Will Rock You.
She
yeah.
knew all the verses to We Will Rock You. I don't know all the verses to
I
We
don't know
Will
all the
Rock
verses.
You.
I was actually pretty surprised. I stood up there, I was like,
Yeah.
What is happening? What
You
did
got
you get
mud
at?
on your face, you big disgrace. I'm like, yeah, get him.
Amazing.